Welcome to the SportsBros podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The SportsBros podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the SportsBros. Welcome to your favorite sports podcast, none other than the SportsBros podcast. If I'm checking, this is episode 209. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yep, that'll do it. Sounds about right. Technically, it's like 216 from what I saw from like our archives, but we're going to roll with 209 because 209 is so fine. Kind of like Formula 409. But enough of me trying to be a low-rate comedian. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world because you know I can't do this by myself. I don't know how Stephen A. does it, but he does. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Well, there ain't much going on in sports, I can tell you that much. Watching ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and not seeing Undisputed anymore. I'm hurt to my soul. Even ESPN First Take. I ain't seen Stephen A. He on vacation. So, but you know what we gonna do here at the SportsBros podcast? We gonna come to you every single week with what we can. Well, except for next week because it's the 4th of July. And so we're going to take vacation. But besides that, we still going to be right here with what we can bring to you. And then there's the other guy, and we got to bring him in at some point in time. I mean, I guess you say he's a vital part of the show. So, yeah, go ahead and bring him in and see what we're going to do. Yes, sir.
This is hilarious. Like, as you're doing this, B-Live, I'm watching you on Facebook Live. Matter of fact, B-Live takes a peek behind the curtain at the SportsBros family with a live video. And speaking of the other guy who didn't have to cut the grass today, and just like me, he does not use the bag. He is the toughest, meanest, thuggish, ruggish personnel in all of the Washington County District. Here he is, the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a new emotion. And that's why I'm here right now instead of later, because it's raining in Western Pennsylvania. It didn't rain for like a month and a half, and we are now finally getting a little of that trickle down out of the skies. Eddie, is it raining up in Ohio? Are you getting any of this?
Hold on, let me look out the window. Yeah, it's a little overcast, and it kind of rained off and on yesterday, and it did rain some on Sunday. So yeah, we getting it. Man, we getting over in Northeast Ohio. So
we got it all in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got hail last night. Oh yeah, the little ice rocks from the sky. Yeah. Oh, it was nasty. I woke up this morning and walked outside. I was like, my whole apartment complex is flooded. Nice. Ooh. All right. So shout out to
it's officially summer. It's summer. You know, that crazy weather. The heat and the rain and the hail and the rainbows, all that good stuff. And B-Live, you're right. Not as much going on in the world of sports here this week. Some clobbering in the college baseball World Series and some interesting things going on in Major League Baseball. But we have that NBA draft last weekend. Cool.
All right, we did have the NBA draft last week, and then also we got NBA free agency coming up as well too. I think Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But with that being said, let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. As Scotty D mentioned earlier, it's a whole lot going on in the world of the NBA. Just to let you know, there's no secret. Victor Wembanyama, or Wemby. I hate that. I don't like that Wemby. It just sounds little. Anyways, Wemby goes number 1 to the Spurs. Marcus Smart, he gets traded to the Grizzlies. Paul George is my GOAT. Brandon Miller goes to Charlotte. I think that's Michael Jordan's way of telling the city of Charlotte to F you, but it's been a whole lot going on. CP3 to Golden State. Draymond say he don't like CP3 like that. Scotty D, what the hell can you make of all this? Somebody tell me something. Scotty D, what you got?
First of all, do any of us believe that Chris Paul going to the Warriors puts them right back into contention? Do we think that at this point they are going to beat the Nuggets just by adding Chris Paul? All I feel like they did was got a guy who's going to be sitting in his street clothes with a really good seat to the Western Conference playoffs next year. That's what I think. I don't get the get older, get Chris Paul situation when you just signed Jordan Poole to a big deal last year. Really, you're shipping him off because him and Draymond didn't exactly get along from the from training camp on last year. Did not like that move. Didn't like that move at all. And I saw that the Hawks traded was it Collins yesterday? Is that who it was?
Yep,
John Collins? Is that who it was? Never heard of him. It was breaking news yesterday. That's how slow story. Never even heard of this guy. That was breaking news for like an hour. Okay, so that move meant absolutely nothing. Bradley Beal getting traded. Who did he go to? The Suns?
Yep, he got traded to the Suns. Yep.
Does that make us like them better than the Nuggets next year?
No.
Nope.
No. Me neither.
That happened a week ago. So yeah, we talked a little bit about it last week, but it's still it don't convince me not one bit. It still don't convince me at all.
And Wemby's going to the Spurs. That doesn't convince me to. I mean, that's years in the making to build that franchise. But I still, after all was said and done, all the huffing and puffing last week, I still like the Nuggets to three-peat, and they've only won one.
Wow, he said three-peat.
Now you're finally listening to me. Oh, he's come around.
You didn't pick him to win the finals.
Yeah, but see what happened was.
Oh boy, hey, you know what they say? What they say? What had happened was, you know what it's about to be.
I had them in the NBA Finals. I did have them in the NBA Finals.
Fair enough.
I had them much better than anybody else did. And then when Milwaukee lost to Miami, I said Denver's winning it all, and I was absolutely correct. And come on now, Milwaukee. I think we all picked Milwaukee. Come on,
I did.
Yep, we did. I did too. I picked.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Let me ask you this one, B Live. Mm-hmm. The Celtics were the disappointment by falling to the Heat. They had Kristaps Porzingis in a trade last week. Does that make them the favorite in the East? Do you like that move to put Boston over the top? And if not, who?
Once again, who is distributing? Who is the point guard? Who is the offense running through that? I'm like, okay, Kristaps Porzingis I had to go back and look because I didn't know the dude still existed. I did not know he was on the Wizards last year. And come to find out, he actually had one of his better seasons, 24 points a game, et cetera, et cetera. That's not the problem. Scoring was never the problem for Boston. They will score at will. It was the fact that when it came push come to shove, when you need somebody to take the ball and run the offense, they don't have that. That was Marcus Smart, and Marcus Smart is not he's a point guard, but he is known more for his defensive skills. He was never a distributor, and that was their problem. Kristaps Porzingis ain't the answer to that. That's somebody else that can score the ball, but who is running the offense? That's my biggest question. And each championship team that we've had the past 5 years, there was somebody that the ball ran through when you ran the offense. It was the Joker last year. 22. Who won it the year prior? I'm not even going down that line. I'll even throw LeBron James back in bubble time. Kyle Lowry when the Raptors won it. I mean, the ball was
Didn't Golden State win in 22?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. That's Steph Curry. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Somebody has to run the offense, and that's a big talk right now because everybody's trying to figure out how much is Draymond Green worth. Draymond Green, regardless of how many points he scores or doesn't score, he has the ability to lead the team and distribute. And the offense can and will run through him at times with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson coming off the ball. That's the reason why Jordan Poole is gone bye-bye, because, heck, at the end of the day, Draymond Green is the voice of that team. As much as Steph Curry is the star in the face, Draymond Green is that veteran leadership. He's the person that they look towards, and that's why Kevin Durant didn't last. That's why Jordan Poole hasn't last, because Draymond Green was doing like, this ain't working. And you ask Steph Curry, you ask Klay Thompson, you ask Steve Kerr right now, who is a vocal leader of that team, they'll say Draymond Green. So that right there, that's 2022 for you. Trying to figure out, they're talking about paying him 3 years, $100 million. I'm like, ooh, boy, that's a lot. But then again, I mean, that's the value, I guess, of a. Will his style of play fit at another team? I don't think so, but that's just me. I don't know ever what I'm talking about, especially according to Scotty D. But yeah, Kristaps Porzingis, I don't think is the answer. They need a point guard. They need is it going to be Derek White? Is he going to be able to distribute the ball and figure out Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum? They both have to come off the ball. There's only one ball to distribute. They did great in regular season, but their chemistry just wasn't there. And the reason why their chemistry wasn't there, because they didn't have anybody to distribute the ball. It comes back to that through and through. Somebody distributing the ball, leading the offense, and then everybody can eat. Boston still doesn't have that answer. They still don't have it yet. So we shall see. My big question to you guys is Damian Lillard. Is it about that time for him to give up on Portland? And I don't like even use
I
the
think
term.
So. But evidently Portland's not giving up on him, because it seemed like that would be the way to go. I mean, you're going to pay two guys to be ball handlers that shell out that kind of money whenever you need other pieces on the team. I mean, I think Damian Lillard deserves to get say in it. Do you want to stay and us rebuild with you? Because we got this other young cat here. You want to help him along, or do you want to go somewhere and contend? Because I would think that's what he would want to do right now. He would look fantastic in a yellow and purple tank top. I mean, personally, I think he would. I mean, you want to talk about teams making a splash and making a deal to try to compete with Denver. It would have to be him. There's not many others that are going to push you over the top. It's certainly not Chris Paul.
Is he even allowed to go to the Lakers? Because isn't he a Supermax player too? And give y'all
he probably.
Well, I think if I'm
they'll clean the bench to get rid of to get him in there. Mo, Larry, and Curly, get the hell out of there.
I think LeBron James isn't a Supermax player. I think that might be the case.
I don't think he is either.
So that you're only allowed to have at max 2 players. I know that had some issues here. Yes, but God, I think I would like to see Damian Lillard in Miami. Yeah, I think that would be nice to see.
It would make a little sense.
So, but this again, we could talk out the side of our mouths and all this left and right, because we don't know. We ain't gonna know nothing for the next 3 or 4 months, but that's about as much as we could talk about, because speculation. Portland, you don't draft another point guard if you really want him to stay. But
it could have been just a case of best player on the board. We cannot let this. We can't pass this kid up.
Well, that's why you make trades and moves. Yeah, I guarantee you there was teams that would have liked to move up to get Scoot Henderson. On top of that, teams are also saying that he's still a developmental player. He's not ready to be there yet. So maybe they were thinking that Damian Lillard's loyalty to Portland would have him develop. I don't know. It's just a mess. When it comes to loyalty, and as much Dame Lillard spoke about how he wanted to bring a championship to Portland did not make the move for him.
No, they didn't load up on any championship pieces. They say they want to build a team around it, but I mean, how do you do that when you get one really good player a year out of the draft? And I don't even know who else plays for Portland right now. But speaking of the draft, let me tell you this though: how impressive is it that you have twins that are in the top 5 in the NBA? Is that not amazing? Is that not unbelievable?
That's
And
when you know you're good.
likable young kids too. These kids are likable, man. I mean, very impressive.
Amen and all. I don't even know how to say the other.
Amen, amen, and
Alger.
Paul. I think Paul was the brother.
No,
But,
Ausur. I know.
okay.
Azure,
Azure.
not to be
I call
confused
him
with
Paul.
the B. Yeah, it's my
Amen
name.
and Paul.
Amen and Paul.
The Thompson twins.
Yeah,
and I don't even know what they played for overtime elite. I don't. If you look down the draft, I'm like, what are these like pro teams from overseas, or is these G League? Or I'm more impressed with the fact that the players that didn't get drafted. What's my dude name? What's it?
Drew Timme.
Drew Timme.
He didn't get drafted. Somebody else didn't get drafted too.
The guy from Kentucky, he was the player of the year last year.
Was the Sonogo
from UConn?
Yeah.
Well, he went back to school though, I think, right? The UConn kid went back to school. Sonogo.
They mentioned that he was a draft snub, so I don't think he went back. I think he was.
I thought it was the kid from Kentucky was one that got snubbed. The Shibwe.
He did too. Yeah. He was. There were 3 players for sure that got mentioned. I'm see if I can pull them up real quick. And of course not.
While you're doing that, let me just comment on the draft too. Say we really don't know a whole lot of these dudes. You know, I mean, we knew who's going 1, and we knew of him because he's been on YouTube and people have been talking about him for months. The other guys in the top, same thing. You just heard about the hype. But after like the 4th pick, they didn't run this like the NFL draft. I never saw Adam Silver go up there and say, with the 6th pick of the draft, the Orlando Magic select the light-skinned kid with the crazy hair. They didn't even show that. All they did was like say, Orlando just picked that kid, and here's a good story about him. And then they say, hey, guess who Indiana just picked? They weren't really showing and that was always like the cool thing about getting drafted is everybody gets to hear your name announced on TV.
Yep.
Yeah, highlight reel.
And they didn't do it. They were like, they spent while like 5, 6, and 7 are getting picked. They spent all that time talking to the Thompson brothers, and then the next thing you know, we're up to like pick 14, and we're still playing catch up. It just the NBA draft, the magic is just not there like it once was. I mean, it really is. I mean, the NFL does a great job with their draft. And like I said, the NBA, you only get 2 rounds total, and nobody knows who these kids are really. So, I guess there's only so much you can do, unless they're trying to spruce it up. But as far as drafts go, I don't feel like I missed much whenever I flipped over and was watching whatever else I was watching. And I probably the Pirates get smoked.
Usually, damn. Usually when it comes to the NBA, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then who's this, who that, what's his name? I don't give a damn. Let's watch Monday Night Raw. B-Lab, did you ever find what you're looking for, my brother?
Yes. That's what I said. Oscar Shibwe for Kentucky, Drew Timme, Gonzaga, Adama Sonogo. And yeah, these are the names. I'm pretty sure if there are names on here that they wanted to be drafted. And I don't even know the rules anymore if you're able to, like, I know if you're able to withdraw at some period of time, but they were sitting there waiting to be called.
I think it's too late now. I think once the draft happens, it's too late to go back to college.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that they'll land somewhere G League, and then they'll develop a 3-point shot, and then they'll be ready for the NBA, because that's exactly what they're looking for. These guys dominated in college.
NBA is searching for those 25% 3-point shooters to come in and just start gunning. Come in and gun threes, hit 25% of them.
The world is on fire right now because Victor Wembanyama, during his first little official shoot around, missed every shot that he shot. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's over!" It's like he's gonna be a bum, a bust. Dude's 7'5".
He'll get better. Yeah, he's 9 feet tall. He'll get better.
He'll be all right. Now they're comparing him to Bol, and I'm like, oh Lord.
You saw that too? They was like, what can Bol do that Victor Wembanyama can't do? And it's like, shut up. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you about some of these sports groups, all right? Here's what gets on my nerves, right? As you all know, comparison is a thief of joy, right?
Right.
We haven't seen what Wemby can do on the NBA court yet. Right. We've seen what Bol can do. So to an extent, you can make a player comparison, but it's like this. Let Bol be Bol and Wembanyama be Wembanyama. And then when that time comes, you can then make that comparison.
Let the dude at least get a shot in, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
That's why, like, even us talking about it right now, what exactly can we say about it? All we can do is speculate, fill in time, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, it's like, it is what it is at this point. Let's talk about something that actually is going on in the world today.
Let's go ahead.
There's one sport going on at least.
Yep, Major League Baseball. Did you guys see the score from the Angels and Rockies game from a few nights ago?
Yes.
They scored in 20s, didn't they?
Yeah, like it was like
25-1.
25-1, and they did all their scoring within the first 3 innings. I think they had like an 18-run inning, a 5-run inning. It was bad. It was just bad.
The third inning, the Angels scored 13 runs in the third inning. 13, I think they were up 18-0 after 3, and then it was 23-0 after 4.
That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen in Major League Baseball. I'm sorry.
You know what? In all places, Coors Field.
Well,
Coors Field, where if I throw the ball, we're here in Ohio. If I throw the ball 5 feet, it goes 5 feet. If I throw the ball 5 feet, Colorado, it goes 455 feet in Coors Field. But speaking of baseball, fellas, biggest surprises, and guess what? I'm going to go first. The Atlanta Braves, they recently snapped their 11-game winning streak, and I'm going to say the Cincinnati Reds at 41-38 are surprising the season. Because to be honest with you, I'm like, oh boy, here come the Reds. They're going to be sitting at the bottom of the division. But as we know, it's only, June, and we're at the halfway point of the season. As of right now, they're 41-38. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. And Ellie De La Cruz is hitting 333 and 69 at bats, including a cycle. Yes, in his very young career. And they got what's my man name? They got Joey Votto. He back hitting the ball all over the place and at 40 years of age. And, the Reds look pretty good. How long is this going to last? I don't know, but it's nice to see, the Cincinnati Reds doing good. Scotty D, what say you?
I'm surprised at how terrible the Mets are doing. I was expecting them to be better. I mean, that's a team that's highly invested. They invested some money, and they are terrible. And it's coming to a head for Buck Showalter. I think his days are limited. They've been losing a lot lately, and in a game they had pretty much in the bag against Philly on Sunday, a 3-run lead. He didn't put any of his best 3 relievers in, 2 of which he said were unavailable, I guess, from being overused, and the third, which was Dave Roberts, he's saving for the 9th inning. You can't get to the 9th inning with a lead if you don't use him in the 8th, and they blew the lead, and Roberts didn't even end up getting to pitch. They ended up losing it, and he's highly criticized for that move. Just, I think, I don't know, maybe Showalter's voice is not ringing true to these players. Maybe it's time for a new voice for the Mets. Maybe Showalter's just a little bit too old school and stubborn to not put the pitcher in if he's, sometimes you just have to think outside of the box a little bit and go for it. And they really needed that win. That's kind of encapsulated their season, I think, a little bit thus far. I was expecting them to be better. Another surprise is that the Pirates had a good month. They've had 2 bad ones since. That's not surprising. The surprise was the good month of April. B-Live, what strikes you so far about this baseball season?
Oh, well, what in the world is going on in the American League, and particularly in the American League Central?
Oh, B500, you're in it.
Oh my God, yeah. Anybody.
If the season ended today, right now, the Boston Red Sox are in last place in the AL East, and they're a half a game ahead of the first place Minnesota Twins. Yeah. And on top of that, guess who the Minnesota Twins have to play right now?
Woo.
The red hot Atlanta Braves. It's tough. It's a tragedy. And right now, as it sits, it's going to get juicy. This is why September is going to be beautiful, I believe, this year. We'll see how it continues to hold up. But right now, there is a game that separates the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Astros, and the Angels. And only 2 of those teams are going to make the playoffs. There's one game separating the Yankees
behind the Orioles, and the Orioles they're the leader.
Yeah, the Orioles are right now the wild card leader.
Right. Yeah.
And then you have the Astros, the Angels, the Orioles, and the Yankees. 2 of those teams make it in. 2 of those teams are going home, and all 4 of those teams have a much better record than the Minnesota Twins. And then you throw in the Boston Red Sox as well, and the Seattle Mariners are only a game under 500. It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a big log jam there. And no, I picked the Blue Jays to go to the World Series in our preseason baseball chat. And the other day I was like, man, that's not looking too good right now. And then it looks like they're good. They're just in a crazy good division. Like everybody in that division is playing well. You might just need an opportunity to crack the door. They could still do it.
If the season ended right now, the Jays are in. Right. The defending champion Astros are out. So there would be 3 teams from the East that would make it into the playoffs if the season ended today. So
here's a good trivia question for you. Who did the Astros defeat in the World Series last year?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I couldn't remember either. Earlier, I heard somebody say it. It was the Phillies.
I'm about to say, yeah, it was the
Phillies.
Yeah.
Phillies got red hot.
Bryce Harper was hurt, but he was DHing, and yeah.
My head's starting to hurt right there.
Yeah, right.
They're
the defending National League champion right now at the moment. And they're in the thick of things, too. They're only 3 games out of the final wild card spot. A lot to be decided. We're not even at the All-Star break.
Right.
Yet,
oh, yeah, we got to talk about something. Yeah. I'm just loving the fact that as it sits right now with the All-Star votes, that 7 of my Braves might make it into the All-Star game. And we haven't even talked about pitchers yet.
Nope. And speaking of pitchers, how about that damn Ohtani Shohei? He is just showing his ass this entire season. He
doesn't have to play anymore. Just give him the MVP right now.
Damn it, it's his.
Boy, is he going to look good in pinstripes next year? I tell you.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'll tell you, just go ahead and roll up the Brinks cash truck, because that's at least $500 million.
We say be live. 600 million or 600
600 million loading.
Yeah.
He should get 2 agents. Whoever the best agent is for pitchers, whoever the best agent is for position players, and have them each represent him as 2 different players.
He should get 2 contracts. He should get a pitcher's contract and a position contract, and then just like, hey, I'm doing both. I'm doing both better on both sides.
And guess what? He knows that.
Yeah,
he knows that he is going to literally break the bank next year.
And the thing about it is, everybody else it's going to be all right. Let him be the Deshaun Watson of the Major League Baseball. Nobody else should get the money that he gets, unless you're doing exactly what he's doing. He $600 million, pay the man. And Shohei Ohtani, we will be your official podcast We just asked for 0.01%.
That's all.
I think he's going to be a Dodger next year, to be quite honest.
Man.
You think so? You think it's going to go down the street?
I do, because I think the Angels are going to have a hard time paying him, even though they're going to want to. I don't think they're going to be able to, the Dodgers are printing their own money over there. And I don't think he wants to go to the East Coast. I think he likes California. So that eliminates the Yankees. Although I would be hard pressed to feel the Yankees don't make a big time pitch for him. But I just kind of feel like he's going to be a Dodger next year.
I wish I had his stats, man. I'm over on the struggle bus trying to put his dog on stats. But only thing I know is he's winning a bunch of games. He's striking out a bunch of people. He's hitting a bunch of home runs. He's wearing a samurai hat at least every other game. The boy's back. The MVP of I would say of all baseball, but then you got that magical guy down there in Atlanta, Ronald Acuna Jr. doing some magical stuff, showing that ACL injury, really didn't hamper him like we thought it would. But that damn Shohei Ohtani, man, he is something special, man. He is definitely next level. And as we come back here on the SportsBros podcast, Scotty D is going to talk about some awards, the ESPY style, but we're going to call them the Sporties. He's going to give us some categories. We're going to talk about it. Stay tuned right here on the SportsBros podcast.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Oh, crap. We just got sued.
Back at you again on the SportsBros podcast, and Scotty D is going to throw a monkey wrench into programming, but a monkey wrench of good sorts. We got the ESPYs coming up, and just to let you know ahead of time, we ain't going to be here next week. We'll be celebrating the 4th of July. Buy fireworks. Don't pull a JPP, and that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, just be careful, take care of yourselves, and just damn it, just be safe. And in the words of the Almighty Be Live song of 2004, pay attention. All right. So here we go, Scotty D. What you got for us, man?
All right. So as you mentioned, the ESPYs are coming up on Wednesday, July 12th. We'll be recording our next show the day prior. So we're going to talk a little bit about the awards, some of the categories. Now, there are numerous, so we're not going to do them all. It's just simply too much. And Eddie Cole, I know I made you nervous when I went da 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 da. So in introducing the segment, I won't go da 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 anymore. I won't do that. I won't do that anymore. Okay. So yeah. So they are giving the award for the best athlete men's and best athlete women's. We're going to save that one for the choices of the voices. We're going to pose that question to our listeners, and we'll answer that one the night prior to the ESPY Awards. But
I like that.
Yeah, so let's give you a little sneak preview of what we're going to do for the choices of the voices coming up. Best breakthrough athlete. Now, here are the nominees: Caitlin Clark, the Iowa women's basketball team; Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers; Angel Reese of the LSU women's basketball team; and Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. He's the one that nearly won the home run derby last year. Those are the best breakthrough athlete. Who do you guys think? B-Live, who do you think, or who would you vote for, and do you think that will be the winner?
I'm going first off and say, I remember distinctly on this podcast when I mentioned about the women's Final Four and such. I got a lot of backlash from one of our sports bros on here about women's basketball. And now you that guy, I don't know if he's down here or to wherever he at, but yeah. Now you want to talk about women's college basketball?
Oh, it's ESPN. They always do this stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, you're actually giving us the actual ballot. And with
these are the ones that are on the ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the actual ballot. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna do this, and I'm probably gonna piss off my Juneteenth community. But man, my breakout athlete is Caitlin Clark. She was getting so high praise, high regard, and everything. It is a team sport. Eventually, LSU won it all. But Caitlin Clark was the face of women's basketball. She would, and to the point where the first lady of this country wanted to change the rules about teams going to the White House because she wanted to include Caitlin Clark in Iowa, which was wrong, and don't do it no more, Joe Biden. But Caitlin Clark, I'm telling you, she took women's basketball, put it on her shoulders, and there are going to be a lot of young women out there, WNBA, NCAA across the board, that will have to thank Caitlin Clark because she revolutionized the game and made it exciting, and which will also make it more profitable. Caitlin Clark, Breakout Athlete of the Year. Yes, sir. Eddie Cool, what you think?
Let's see. I am going to have to also go with Caitlin Clark too, because Caitlin Clark was just out here handling business and making things happen for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Think about it. We would not be talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes if it wasn't for her. All right. She's one of a kind. She's making things happen. And is she coming back for her senior season, or she?
Yeah, I believe she is.
Yeah, so we got to deal with her another year for my lady Gamecocks, but we'll be all right. We'll reload, we'll recharge, we'll be all right. But yeah, man, you got to give it to Caitlin Clark. You know, not a slight against Angel Reese, but Caitlin Clark just did the damn thing, man. She just had us by the what sits, and just for those of you that for people that never paid attention to women's college basketball, you are now watching. You are now invested because of Caitlin Clark and amongst some of others, but she's the one that has all eyes on the product.
I agree. I think Angel Reese gained a level of fame for beating Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark gained fame just because she was that good and brought a lot of attention. I'm tempted to say Brock Purdy because he kind of came out of nowhere and took the 49ers to the championship game. And whenever he was injured, they had no shot. But I do think I think the voters are going to see a Caitlin Clark way. So I think it's a sweep for us. We're all going Caitlin Clark on that one.
I'm going to say this real quick. Brock Purdy, you a bad man, because the 49ers traded like 3 draft picks to get Trey Lance. And now Trey Lance is probably third string on their depth chart because of Brock Purdy. It's a mess. Pressure. Brock Purdy, hey, buddy. Trey Lance may not get the chance to even see the NFL or be an NFL starter at all. Like, his window is closing quick. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, sir.
Next category, Scotty D.
Okay, the next category is the best record-breaking performance. And here's who they got lined up. Novak Djokovic. He won the 2023 French Open for his 23rd Grand Slam title, breaking a tie with Nadal for the most major single championships. LeBron James, surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the NBA scoring record. Michaela Schifrin, breaking the record for the most World Cup victories with 87. She was the alpine skier, the downhill skier. And Max Verstappen for breaking the most record for wins in a season with a win at the Mexican Grand Prix. I don't know who that person is. He's not winning. So of those other 3, Joker, LeBron, or Michaela Schifrin, we're eliminating the Grand Prix guy because he's not getting this award. We know that. We know that. we already know. They needed a 4th one, and they picked this one out of nowhere. But LeBron's on TV on ESPN constantly. Joker's on ESPN constantly. Michaela Schifrin, she's not winning either. We know that. So it's really down to those 2. The Joker or LeBron? Who you got, B Live?
Man, I'll tell you what, you will not be the host of the ESPYs ever.
I'm being honest here. I'm being honest.
And it's LeBron James. It really is. Like, and I haven't been the biggest advocate for LeBron James. It's because of his fans. But at the end of the day, this kid came into the league, had the world on his shoulders, like the expectations that are now placed on Victor Wembanyama, which might be a little unfair to the kid, but we'll see how it goes and whatnot, what have you. But LeBron James just broke a record that we honestly thought was never going to be touched. It wasn't even in consideration just because of the nature of the game. Like, players just don't stay healthy that long, and like it's one of those things right now. Just a parallel. The records that Tom Brady holds right now, they'll never be touched. I don't think they'll ever be touched. I just think that it would just Tom Brady and LeBron James are elite within their own right. And LeBron stayed healthy long enough and has been a dominant force in the NBA for a very long time. And it's well deserved for him to be the points leader of all time in the NBA. That's the only of all time I'm giving LeBron James, because the greatest of all time will always be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to me. But if it was argument between Jordan and LeBron James, it'd be Jordan. But Kareem's my go. I had to throw that in there. Eddie Cool, what say you?
I'm gonna have to say the same thing. It's a record that we thought we would never see, being broken, no whatsoever. Because I think the year before that, didn't he break like the postseason record, all-time postseason record?
I believe so. I believe he did.
So with him breaking that, it was only a matter of time before this happened. So I mean, like B-Live just summed it up. I ain't got to even follow that up. But seriously though, yeah, LeBron James, weigh the world on his shoulders, them big 250-pound shoulders from right down the road here, 77 South in Akron, Ohio. Yeah, man, he just made it happen. He willed his team on his back, and the team went all the way. I mean, it wasn't a wasted season because at least they went to the Western Conference Finals, and he was a big part of that. And yeah, you think of the records that'll never be broken. The Joe DiMaggio 56 game hitting streak.
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain scored 100. I think with the way the game is set up now, we'll probably see it.
No, we're not going to see 100. We're not going to see 100. We've seen a lot of 60s and a sprinkle of 70s. I don't think Kobe had Kobe's 80, and that was how long ago? That was rare company within itself. I don't think we're going to see 100. We'll see. We'll see a few more 60s. We'll see a couple of 70s, but yeah, that 100. That ain't dude. First of all, they ain't even gonna play that long to let somebody get 100. I think the one that got closest to it was when Klay Thompson scored 60 in 3 quarters, and they was like, "Nah, you good player." You good. There ain't even no need. We can't get them to play a full season. My bad.
No, that is true with load management and everything else, and. In the words of Scotty D, if you're 2 for 97 for the field, hell, just keep shooting.
Keep putting it up.
just keep
just
shooting.
Go after it.
All right, Scotty D, next topic.
All right. Well, I'm gonna chime in, and I'm gonna tell you that I think that Novak Djokovic is going to win this award for the 23rd Grand Slam title, for the simple fact that this is actually a Grand Slam title win, a championship achieved, whereas LeBron was I mean, it's not to diminish his achievement, but in that moment, it was a basket made. Yeah, it was a basket made in that moment. I do think that ESPN actually does focus a good bit on tennis, and we don't watch it as much as they probably put it on. But I think that's an incredible achievement to win the 23rd Grand Slam. I mean, Djokovic has been dominant in the era of Nadal and Federer. To be able to overcome those guys along the way and win this many. I think he's going to win it, and that's my pick, and I think that's where the voters are going to go as well.
And is Nadal still active? I don't think
he's going to retire. I think he announced his retirement, but has not officially. I think he said, "I'm getting ready to retire," but I don't think he actually did retire yet. I think he's going to play out this season.
I wonder if because which one is the last one in tennis? The last Australian Open? No,
the U.S. Open is last in August, I believe. Australian's first. They do that one in January.
Right, because they have a separate. Their summers and our winter. Southern Hemisphere, whatnot. Because Nadal was probably like, man, I have a chance for 23.
Yeah. Well, and he was injured this time and did not play the French, and that's where he wins his major. So I think he's won his last one, to be honest. I think Joker's at this point not really slowing down. He's still that strong. Right. All right, best comeback athlete. Here are the choices. John Jones, who won the UFC Heavyweight Championship on March 4th in his first fight since 2020. Jamal Murray of the Nuggets, after missing the 21-22 season due to a torn ACL, he came back and played a key role in the Nuggets championship. Alyssa Thomas, the Connecticut Sun forward, won the 2022 WNBA Comeback Player of the Year after suffering a torn Achilles tendon. And Justin Verlander, who won the 2022 AL Cy Young and Comeback Player of the Year after only playing 6 innings in 2020 and missing all of 2021 due to Tommy John. And he was part of the Astros championship team last year. John Jones, Jamal Murray, Alyssa Thomas, Justin Verlander. Eddie, I'm going to let you pick the first one here for the best comeback athlete.
I was going to go out on a limb and say something different, but I'm going to have to say Jamal Murray. I'm going to have to say Jamal Murray because like I told you guys back in 2020 and watching bubble basketball, watching the classic slugfest between him and Spider Mitchell, I was like, I didn't have any favorite basketball players, but this Jamal Murray guy, yeah, that's my dude. That's my guy. I like him because if he can score like that, then you know, a full season uninterrupted COVID-free season, there's no telling what he could do. The following year, as you mentioned, was supposed to be that season, but then he gets hurt, and then you know he played comeback, and so now he's back and he's better than ever. It's almost like the knee injury never existed. So I'm gonna have to roll with Jamal Murray on this one.
Back in a big way.
Yep.
B-Live, who you got?
Right. So my answer, I'm writing in one because I'm just playing. Right. I was gonna say I was gonna write in Ronald Acuna Jr., but no, you know how much I've advocated for the Nuggets the past couple of months. It's Jamal Murray, without question. Like he's a lot of players could have just taken that and then not been the same. He said, you know what? We got a squad, and he said, my boy Joker been doing his thing. I got his back. Jamal Murray, comeback player of the year. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to tell you that it's not going to be John Jones, just because he was kind of a self-exiled athlete. He didn't suffer an injury or have anything tragic happen that kept him out. He was squabbling for money, so he doesn't deserve to be the comeback athlete of the year. And when he did come back, he beat a guy who wasn't very good, and he was fat when he came back. You know, it was on purpose. He put on weight on purpose. It's not going to be him. I could see any of the other three, though. Alyssa Thomas tearing the Achilles and coming back and winning the WNBA Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year. ESPN pushes the WNBA quite a bit. I could very easily see it going to her, and I could see it going to Murray, who, for the reasons you guys said. But I think they're going to go with Verlander. That's who I'm going to pick because, well, he missed 2 seasons, basically, and then come back and helped win the World Series. And, yeah, and he won the Cy Young. I think it's, I know you're a Braves guy. Yeah, I think it's going to Verlander. That's my pick. I think they'll go with that. I don't always think they picked who I think it should be, but that's who I think. And like you said, I could see them going with either of the other two. It's not going to be John Jones. I'm ruling him out completely. I'm going.
Yeah, because like you said, Scotty D, he sat out damn near 2 years. So that's
and got the Cy Young and won the World Series. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of coming back for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to skip best play. There's too much to talk about. And because I think it's Michael Block getting the hole in one of the 2023 PGA Championship. That one's good. Okay. Best team. Now there's a handful to pick from here because these are covering multiple sports. So you might want to jot these down just so you can see. Best team, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Nuggets, the Golden Knights of the NHL, the Las Vegas Aces of the WNBA, the Georgia Bulldogs college football team, the LSU women's college basketball team, or the Oklahoma Sooners softball team. I don't see Dallas Cowboys on there.
Because it won't be.
Yeah,
just like you won't see my Clemson Tigers on there.
Yeah, or the South Carolina game.
We don't see them.
None of our teams are
we don't
on
see
this
Clemson
list.
for nothing neither. Only thing I have orange in my house is orange juice. But go ahead.
All right, Eddie, who do you like out of that? Chiefs, Nuggets, Knights, Aces, Bulldogs, LSU Tigers, or Oklahoma Sooners softball. Let's just say they have no shot. Oklahoma Sooners softball. They're not going to get this. Come on.
Even though it was a historic season for them, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go with the Golden Knights.
Really? Okay.
Because, 6 years ago, they said, you know what? We're going to win the Stanley Cup. Okay, that's a confident owner running his mouth. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. And 6 years later, they're hoisting up Lord Stanley's Cup. And is this the city of Las Vegas' second championship? If I'm not mistaken, because didn't the Aces win it 1 year, and now the Knights win it? And the Knights win it.
But it sounds like the Aces just won it, right?
Did they?
No, I think it was last year.
I don't watch the WNBA enough to know.
Anyways, so for them to come together and do what they did in such a small amount of time, like what was it? The second year they went to the Western Conference Finals, and then they just build off of that. They got homegrown guys, and they want to stand the cup this year. So I'm gonna have to go with the Golden Knights. It's a long shot, but I'm gonna have to go with them.
Man, because I had to look it up real quick because I'm disrespectful. The Oklahoma Sooners, 53 straight victories in softball.
Mm-hmm.
They dominated. I think they ended up 55, 56-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that this is their second year in a row. Oklahoma Sooners softball. Remember, you just had that conversation about how ESPN likes to promote more women. Oh, I think they have a very strong case of being the team of the year. Like, Kansas City's already won. They already won it. Denver, small market. ESPN really don't even like small market like that. And
no.
Golden Knights, I can see that a little bit. I think Oklahoma has a very strong case of being the team of the year. And I'm sticking to it.
That's a good argument. You're right.
Fair enough.
I think they're going to pick the Chiefs, even though I kind of think it should be the Georgia Bulldogs. I like the football one either way, but I think I'm going to say that they go Chiefs. But I'm picking Georgia. That's me.
I'm not trying to hear nothing about Georgia.
They were really good. They had a seventh-year senior play quarterback,
and he still ain't graduated from college.
But he got drafted by the Rams, though. Or did he get signed?
Yeah, I think he got drafted.
I think he went fourth round, or
like in the fourth round. I think so. Yeah.
At the tender age of 65.
I think they're going to pick the Chiefs just because I think ESPN loves Patrick Mahomes. They love to elevate him. They love Andy Reid. I think the Nuggets have as good a case as anybody because of how good they were in the regular season and how they just didn't falter in the playoffs. And in the postseason, they swept the Lakers. They lost one in the finals. They won 9 out of 10 games or something like that. Whatever it was, I think the Nuggets are deserving. I think they're going Chiefs. I would vote for Denver or for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, and I apologize. Quick correction: the Oklahoma Sooners were 61-1. I do apologize. 61-1. Yeah.
See, they weren't nearly as good as you had us believe. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do two more here. One, I think we're just going to go ahead and all agree on this. Best college athlete, women's sports. It's Caitlin Clark, who is probably going to win. Her competition is Jordy Ball, Oklahoma softball, Izzy Skane, Northwestern women's lacrosse. Izzy, just enjoy your ticket to the show. You're not going on the stage. And Trinity Thomas, Florida gymnastics, and she did have a historic kind of performances here. She's not getting on the stage either. It's going to be Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah.
When Trinity Thomas of Florida, right? Didn't she have the perfect 10?
She did, something? Yes. Yeah.
And solidified. She has a chance, but it's probably going to be Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was she's like the face of women's sports.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be just kind of her year at the ESPYs kind of thing. All right, and then the best college athlete for men's sports. Here are your 4 choices. Zach Edey, Purdue men's basketball. Duncan McGuire, Creighton men's soccer. That's Duncan McGuire, Creighton men's soccer. There's a hot contender. Brennan O'Neill, Duke men's lacrosse. I'm not making this up. And Caleb Williams, Southern California football.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. Yeah, okay. That's what I think too. I think that one's going to be a slam dunk on that one. All right. So,
come on, bro.
So tune into the ESPYs on July 12th and compare our picks to theirs. There are several other ones that are going. There's like best athlete with disability, best NFL player, MLB, all major sports. But
best athlete with disability. Oh, yeah. You can bet on that now.
Really?
Yeah, remember my pepper point last week?
Yeah, as B Live told us last week.
Oh, yeah.
Now
That's right.
on the Special Olympics. And to those of you that have betted on the Special Olympics, y'all going to hell in a handbasket.
Well, then I'll put my money on Aaron Pike, wheelchair racing and cross country skiing. That's my money.
We're not doing that. We are not doing that.
Looking at my phone.
DraftKings. Go to DraftKings right now.
My phone because I'm yet to get a watch. What the hell is going on here?
Where is Button that one?
Yeah. Let's get Button in here and move on from this stuff.
I'm just go ahead, fellas. Guess what time it is?
Oh,
it's definitely
time to get us out of the boiling water here.
Real quick, because I feel because I don't want no hot water on cheeks. All right, it's time. Don't you do it? It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, old Button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming right back on this train wreck of a show known as the Sports Bros Podcast.
Don't even worry about editing it. Just let it ride.
Betting on the Special Olympics. Stetson Bennett, he the George Blanda of college football. What the hell is going on?
And Chris Winkie of college football. We really want to talk about it. But no, Chris Winkie actually played baseball and then came back or something else like that. I think that's what happened with him. But yeah, it's Button. Yeah.
Button.
Yeah, we'll be back.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and Scotty D. Close your ears. So lovely, Miss Button, for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. Look, 200 plus episodes. You know how the hell we do it. We ask y'all a question, you give us the answer, and we talk about it. And last week I had it on paper. This week I smartened up and I got it on my tablet. That good old $150 Walmart tablet with the world's worst battery. But anyways, the words of the Almighty Be Live, I digress. Scotty D, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices?
All right, this week we just asked you to tell us who you think, what athlete, past or present, did you just think was super cool? Who was your Fonzie, the cool athlete on your list? And I said you could give us 1 or 2. And I think we did get 1 or 2 answers already. Cool.
Yep, we got 1 or 2. We got more than 1 or 2. And let me clear my throat. So here we go. All right. Tony Bogan. Also, shout out to Tony Bogan. Check out his podcast, the Tapped In with Tony podcast. Tony talking to everybody. All right. Tony, Tony is talking to everybody. Hopefully, Tony will get all 3 of us on soon, and we'll have an episode of Tapped In with Tony featuring the Sports Bros podcast. All right. So here we go. Tony Bogan. He said, I would have to say that Derek Jeter is one of the coolest athletes I've ever seen. Even though he played for the Yankees, and I wasn't their biggest fan. I saw the Captain documentary, and he was the man back in the 90s. So we got 1 for Derek Jeter.
Quick shout out to Big Poppy, David Ortiz for getting Derek Jeter a Red Sox. I enjoyed that so much. He just threw it. He threw it. He said, "The hell with this."
F your couch. F your couch.
Did you see that?
I did not know.
It was when they were in London for this past weekend for the team. It was Derek Jeter's first it was his broadcast premiere, and David Ortiz got a present for him, and it was a Boston Red Sox jersey with Jeter's name on the back of it.
Oh, okay.
And Jeter was like, and just he's like, well, it's been nice with you. This will be the
Didn't
last.
give it a second look, huh?
No.
Hell no. A-Rod
That's
over
because he's too
A-Rod over
cool
there.
for that.
Yeah, hey, he looked at it, turned
A-Rod
around.
would have put it on.
Yeah. Hey, what I was about, I was about to say something, but I forgot. Yeah, it's yeah, Scotty D. It's funny as hell. Oh, the thing about
Jeter
it
was
was
Mr. Cool on the field too, though. I mean, he was a cool cat, Mr. New York.
yeah, Derek Jeter gave him that Booker T look. I said, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't punch him when the camera is turned off." All right, we got Joe Turner. He said Joe Willie Namath is his favorite all time. The one that guaranteed wore a wool coat and wanted to kiss Susie Colbert in the mouth on TV.
Still cool. He's still cool.
He's still cool.
Fur coat on the sideline with shades.
Hollywood.
He's doing those AARP Deluxe Junior commercials. But anyways, a Hall of Famer, Uncle Max, he said he always thought Dennis Rodman was cool.
Now, see, this surprises me. I mean, that's a good answer, but I really thought Max would have picked Joe Namath or somebody from like the leather helmet era.
Wow.
Someone, one of those guys.
See, you notice I didn't say nothing.
Almost fell out the chair. Almost fell out the chair.
I'm not part of these shenanigans. He said that.
Like Red Grange or
Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs Hirsch.
Wait a minute. Crazy Legs Hirsch. Wait a minute. Uncle Max, if you're listening, wasn't Crazy Leg Hirsch in some movies? I think he was. He might have been.
Uncle Max, if you're watching me behind the scenes live, Scotty D's being mad disrespectful. I had nothing to do with it. I want to look at you. Right.
I'm just reading the lines B Live wrote for me for the week.
You are lying.
Next,
you are
next
the
up.
truth ain't in you.
And the gold
win is next.
And the Golden Shovel Award goes to
SB.
Oh,
da, 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 da.
Pling. All right, here we go. We got Tom Wynn. He says, for us folks in the Namath era from the Northeast, Walt Clyde Frazier. Ain't he doing them mustache commercials with Keith Hernandez?
Yeah, I just always picture him with the chops and the like leather jacket or the like the furred kind of jacket. Yeah.
Yep.
Clyde Frazier was a cool dude.
Yep. All right, we got the one and only, the man himself, Trey.
Oh, here we go.
Trey Dizzle. He says Dak Prescott is pretty cool. All right. All right. He gets on these streaks where he's throwing the ball so cold, I can freeze the sun on his spirals. He's really cool at falling down whenever somebody pressures him instead of escaping the sack. He's really cool at losing to the 49ers in the playoffs because he can't throw the ball to his own team. He does so many cool things that I wish he would just retire from football and just focus on all the cool things he does off the field. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Duke.
Trey Duke. Okay. Very good.
All right, we got
I would say this though. Dak Prescott does have those sleep number commercials, and I guess you throw in a little Stuart Scott. Yeah, I'm cooler than the other side of the pillow,
Man.
Scotty D had to go to Scott Hall and get toothpick in his mouth. I'm not trying to hear that. All right, we got Brian Lavelle. He says, one word, 3 letters, Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Oh yeah, he was a master. Like he was the original like craftsman on the mic.
God, yeah.
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 He was the innovator.
He was your he was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper's favorite rapper's favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Let's see, did I go back 5 times? 50 times? Okay, yeah, I got you. All right, we got Jeffrey Lewis. Shout out to Jeffrey Lewis, man, who's being very active in our group chat and in the group as well, too. Jeffrey Lewis says, Dion, the top of the list for sure for the most swaggerous. Peyton, as in Peyton Manning, sure had his ways as he led the Colts, and Allen Iverson, he was the man for sure. Too cool for school. So he gave us a trifecta of Deion Sanders, Peyton Manning, and Allen Iverson. And we talk about practice. All right.
Iverson was really cool. Iverson was cool.
Yeah, he was.
Dion was like the epitome of cool. I never thought Peyton Manning was cool. I think he's funny, but I thought he was a nerd.
Peyton Manning is funny because he's
he's
corny. Like he's like, And I guess maybe like
he's one of your daddy's friends that's telling jokes all the time.
And I guess because we think of him a different way, like his personality coming out, especially like when him and his brother on Monday Night Football and the commercial that he does. You know what? I like that answer. Peyton Manning, you're cool to me. I like that answer. I like that.
He was kind of dorky, but that was part of the charm of it. That because on the football field, he was incredibly cool. He was phenomenal. But if you stand him and Tom Brady next to one another, one of those guys is the dude that all the chicks want. The other one is the guy that everybody wants to be friends with because he's not quite as cool as the other. And we know which one's which. Okay.
Right.
AKA, this one gets all the chicks, and this one, hey man, let me copy off her homework, man.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what that is.
The right? Smart friend zone guy.
Yeah. But I think with Peyton Manning now, I think the reason why people find him so funny, like, probably, there's some women that find him funny, like he's that funny, they're like, oh my God, he's Peyton Manning. But last but not least, we got Matty Ice, Martin Tracy. He says Ken Griffey Jr., LT, and Derek Sanderson. And Derek Sanderson is who is Derek Sanderson?
I think he gave an explanation of it, didn't he? Didn't I see?
You know what? He might have, and I you know what? I didn't see it. You know what? I'm just gonna because
he was a hockey player.
Derek Sanderson. I thought it was Jeff Sanderson.
Hockey player.
That was Jeff Sanderson from the Northwest Territories, Hay River to be exact.
Nicknamed Turk, a Canadian former professional ice hockey.
Played for the Bruins.
And Stanley Cup. Oh,
okay.
Okay, I could see he old. I could see I could see where I could see he got a couple.
He's cool because he says he is.
He's got a couple black and white pictures where he got the slick down hair, looking like Burt Reynolds and I don't know.
Does he have the big Lanny McDonald mustache? Remember him, Scotty D? Lanny McDonald.
He does have a stash.
Okay,
he does now. Okay, old Bruin. I like the Ken Griffey Jr. answer.
Yeah, Lanny McDonald was cool, by the way. But go ahead, Scotty D. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just say Junior was batting practice with the hat backwards.
Yep.
And just that cool confidence. Ken Griffey Jr. is very cool.
Yep. All right, so shout out to Tony, Joel, Matt, Uncle Max, Tom Wynn, Trey Dizzle, Brian Lavelle, Jeffrey Lewis, and Martin Matty Ice Tracy for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scotty D, who you got?
Hard not to say prime time.
Yeah.
And Godspeed to prime time because of his recent surgery with the blood clots and getting his toes fixed and all that. He was so swagger with the jewelry and the sunglasses. He was always cool. And modern day of the current athletes, I think Joe Burrow is pretty cool. I'm a Joe Burrow guy. I think he's cool on the field and cool off the field. Love Joe Burrow. But I gotta say, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody more cool than Dennis Rodman in his heyday. Dennis Rodman with a different color of hair, with the broads, with the cigars, wearing the NWO T-shirt and fighting in the WCW. Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing he didn't do back in those days that wasn't cool. Getting into it on the court with the mailman, getting under everyone's skin, winning championships, drinking. I mean, all that stuff. Dennis Rodman was super, super cool.
Michael Jordan went and got him from Las Vegas, and then Michael Jordan opened the door, and like, who was that peeking under the
Carmen
sheet?
Electra was
Carmen Electra, and he was like, Dennis, bring your ass. Carmen, call me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I will definitely follow suit when I say that Allen Iverson, Jeffrey Lewis, when he said Allen Iverson, they changed they changed the dress code in the NBA because of Allen Iverson. Because Allen Iverson was that cool. Like, I don't understand. I'm mad right now. I want to go to the athletic store right now and buy me some baggy basketball shorts. That was the style. that was. And man, between Fab Five, AI, Brady the Pro, man, he was a trendsetter, game changer. They changed the dress code in the NBA because of Allen Iverson. But my cool is, come on. There's nothing that this dude hasn't done. I'm still trying to figure out how he became a sheriff. But Shaquille O'Neal, like, what has he not done?
He's pretty cool.
He's got tenure in Las Vegas as a DJ. Like, and he's a really good DJ, by the way. It's not something like he's a really good DJ. Like, it's not something just a fly by night or anything. He's been a professional wrestler. Like,
everything.
MMA, does MMA.
Yeah, that's what, like,
owns Papa John's.
Yeah, right.
Pour down rims.
Yeah.
Inside the NBA, just like this nothing that he hasn't done. And like, well, yeah, Shaquille
put out
O'Neal,
rap albums, movies,
everything. It just
what was it? Was it Kazam? Like,
yeah, Blue Chips. I mean, he's done it. He's done a lot.
He was a superhero. Like, who else was a superhero? Like, even Michael Jordan wasn't even really a superhero. He just played basketball against some aliens. It's yes.
Knick knack, shack attack, give the dog a bone.
Yeah.
And it is not the Mandela effect. There is Kazam that Shaquille O'Neal was a part of, and then there was Shazam that Sinbad was. Those are two actual movies. People don't believe it. Those are actually true. But Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq. How many nicknames did Shaquille O'Neal have?
The big cactus, the big Aristotle, the biggin, Diesel, Shaq Diesel, Shaq-a-Demus, Shaq Squatch, Shaq and a half, Shaq Nasty, shrimp salad, shrimp stew, shrimp.
Shaq is that dude, man. Yeah. And Eddie Cool, what you got? Who's your coolest athlete?
All right, so two of the three gentlemen that were mentioned throughout this, I at one point owned their jerseys, and I at one point owned one of their video games. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq is just what can be said about Shaq that has not already been said? Hell, y'all done said it. Movies, TVs. Shoot Pass Slam, The Big Chicken. He done had a bunch of podcasts. He done throwing a chicken bone at Charles Barkley fat ass. Shaq is the epitome of cool, man. Like, you gotta think about, like, we grew up on Shaq, like from 91 until, like, Shaq has been relevant for a very, very long time.
Still is.
Yeah, matter of fact, recently he did a song with Zero by the name of Stop the Rain, and he still got it on the mic. He dropped a freestyle a while back. So Shaq is just it's just all around cool. And like, what also makes him cool is that the things that he does for people. Like, he just walks around in the stores, and he saw a struggling mama. She needed to buy some laptops. He didn't think twice. Here, take it. Don't worry about it. And then he saw there was this video of a little kid. They were at an event. He ran up to the kid and he hugged Shaq's leg, and somebody tried to run him off. He told the kid, he said, "Come here, turn around, take this picture, and go on about your business." And I'm like, who does that? Like, Shaq is the man. And then Dennis Rodman was just black, alternative, not your normal black guy. He kind of reminded me of like the rock band in Living Color. Dennis Rodman jammed to the beat of his own drum, and Dennis Rodman was that dude. The big furry hats. He was just he was the Wilt Chamberlain of the 90s.
How do you become a friend with a Korean dictator? Like,
because you're cool. You're that cool.
Yeah, you can take your black ass to Korea.
He's my friend. He's my friend.
Yeah, you can take your black American ass over there and be friends with a Korean dictator and come back unscathed.
North Korea.
That's kind of when he started to be not quite as cool.
That's when he started to be crazy.
Yeah.
Right? There's a fine line between cool and crazy. And damn if Dennis Rodman can blur them both. Scotty D, man, what's on tap for next week's Choices of the Voices?
All right, as I mentioned before, we're going to ask you the your votes for the best athlete for women's sports Do your research on this one, folks. Your candidates: Michaela Schifrin, skier; Sophia Smith of the Portland Thorns. Is that a WNBA team?
Don't ask me.
The
Iga
Thorns.
Swiatek, tennis player;
Okay.
or Asia Wilson of the Las Vegas Aces. Do your homework on that one, because I didn't say Serena Williams and Sue Bird and Venus Williams. Those names are all gone. They're not on the list this year.
No Diana Taurasi.
No Diana Taurasi this year. Yeah, no Cheryl Miller or any of those.
Jennifer Azzi.
Yeah, none of them are on here.
No Rebecca Lobo.
You already know what Eddie Cool's answer is going to be, though. Whatever.
No Jade Cargill.
No Lindsey Vaughn. Yeah, none of them.
Anyways, come back.
Anyway, that's where. If you missed what I said, just look them up. Okay, and then
he's gonna have a picture or two, maybe.
I'll put the picture.
Gotcha.
Best athlete in men's sports: Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets. We all heard of him. Aaron Judge of the Yankees, Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, or Lionel Messi. I guess he plays soccer for Argentina. I think he's a soccer player.
Does he play for LA? No, he plays for Miami now, right? B-Live.
Enter Miami.
Is his name Lionel? Lionel Richie, of Argentina soccer player. Those are your four choices. The Joker, the Judge, my homeboy, or Lionel Richie. And that'll give us something to talk about next week here on or in 2 weeks on Choices of the Voices. You got 2 weeks to try to figure out who Iga Swiatek, tennis player, is.
That man didn't say Lionel Messi. He said Lionel Richie. That is so. Boy.
Lionel Richie.
All night long. All night long. He's gonna be the athlete of the millennium. Anyways, look here. This thing done going all the way off the racks, off the track.
Let's finish this show up. Let's finish it up.
We'll be back after this. Lord have mercy.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard a woman. If you stayed here long enough, we hadn't ran you off in the last segment. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, man, you know how we do it, around the pepper. 3 topics, rapid fire style. Kind of, sort of, not really. Here to engage, educate, enlighten, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order, right? And I'll go first, all right? On this day in history, back in 1992, the Dream Team, you know, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Magic Johnson, and all them, they beat the brakes off of Cuba in the first exhibition basketball game, 133-57, and Charles Barkley led all scorers with 22 points. And this was before I was going through a chicken wing your fat ass, Shaq. So
Charles Barkley was that dude, though. Like, people forget that. Yeah. For him to lead all scorers on the Dream Team, he was that dude.
Yeah, and I think he averaged. I think throughout the Olympic tournament, he averaged 18 points a game. So Charles Barkley was not Jordan, not Pippen, but that damn Charles Barkley. Over to you, Scotty D.
Okay, so the LSU Tigers are the College Baseball World Series, having taken 2 out of 3 against the Florida Gators. The name to remember from this team: LSU center fielder Dylan Cruz. On Sunday, he was honored as the Golden Spikes Award, as the winner of the Golden Spikes Award as a top amateur baseball player. And depending on what the Pittsburgh Pirates do, he could be the number 1 pick in the draft next month. Probably won't get further than number 2. Guys, I find this so incredibly impressive. In 71 games this year, this guy got on base all 71 games, either a hit or walk. He's on base. Bat over 400, on base every day. Every time you play this kid, he's getting on base. Actually, his streak was 75 dating back to last year. So going back to last year, 75 consecutive games this dude gets on base. I hear him being compared already to a Mike Trout, which is unfair to anybody who's that young to be compared to somebody like that. But if this dude is the next Mike Trout, and the Buccos Don't pick this kid next month. They're talking about taking one of his pitcher teammates. And be very upset with you, Pittsburgh. Take this kid. Take Dylan Cruz. Be live. Over to you.
All right. Well, speaking of hits and getting on base and such, my first pepper point is going to be about baseball as well. There's a nice little stat that is floating around where the most 5-hit games in one season by an MLB hitter, professional baseball. Ty Cobb had 4 5-hit games in 1922. Stan Musial had 4 in 1948. Tony Gwynn had 4 in 1993. And Ichiro Suzuki had 4 in 2004. Well, this month, Luis Arias has had 3 5-hit games in the month of June. 3 in 1 month. These guys had 4 the entire season. He has had 3 5-hit games in a month. I think he's going to join this list pretty soon. We've got 3 more months to go in the baseball season. I think he's going to join it. Luis Arias, he's now fallen under 400. He is at 399. He's going to teeter-totter around there. 400 is really, really tough. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Dude's been on fire. Not going to lie about that. All right, so Derek Carr, former Raiders quarterback, he spills the tea about his departure, right? In an article that was published by the USA Today, and he also had an interview with the Fresno Bee. He said that I was, for a lack of a better term, very upset. I was mad. You can spend 9 years in a place, you can have all the records, you can play at a high level, and for something to get away, and for something to get in the way, whether whatever it was the reason would be, money related or whatever, injury related, I would have to say, I don't even want the money. I just want to play two more times in front of our home fans, and I didn't get an opportunity. So it definitely lit a fire inside me to keep me going. Now, as you remember, Derek Carr got benched the final 2 games of the season as the Raiders were in the middle of a playoff push, right? But here's the thing about it. He said once his wife they made his wife cry, he said, that's it. I ain't want to be here no more. He said, once they made my wife cry, it was pretty much over, Carr said. Once they made her cry, that was out. He said that was out. But the love for my teammates is what probably would have made me do it as far as stay. But the way it worked out and the timing of things, it was time for me to move on. But who knows? You never know what will happen. Per the USA Today and the Fresno Bee. Hey, don't be making people wise cry. What's wrong with y'all? Over to you, Scotty D.
All right, here's one that's making some people cry. The Ultimate Fighter, the coaches this year, Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. And usually when that series wraps up, the coaches fight one another. Well, Conor McGregor's last fight in the UFC took place in July of 2021 when he snapped his leg in a fight with Dustin Poirier, and he has not fought since. Last week, fans of Conor McGregor had their hopes snapped when he did not enter the USADA drug testing pool. You need to be in that 6 months before being able to fight in the UFC. And all reports indicate that Conor has physically bulked up, making us all wonder, why are you not entering the drug testing pool? Why do you not want to pee in a bottle, Conor? Are you getting big and muscular? You should want to fight. Why are you not want to pee in a bottle? Is there proper number 12? Is there some kind of juice in that bottle? I don't know. I know I sure would like to see him fight Michael Chandler. Be live. Over to you.
He too busy knocking out mascots and wearing tight shirts. Go ahead, be live.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, I got a question for you leading up to my second pepper point, because we all have respective jobs, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm pretty sure some of our jobs, we've had direct deposit where, boom, this day comes, money appears in your bank account, right? And you pay your respective bills, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that doesn't seem to work out for everybody, because one particular Arena League football team
oh boy, here we go.
Saw the money hit their bank account, but then a week later the checks got reversed.
And the
money disappeared from their bank accounts, and now the Albany Empire
Oh,
are filing a class action lawsuit against former NFL player and current Albany Empire owner Antonio Brown. Boy, Antonio, I don't know what you got going on. Vontaze Perfect, dang, you ain't had to hit him that hard. Pay these people, please. Eddie Cool, the ball.
somebody need to find Vontez Burfict real quick. Like, dude, why'd you have to do that? All right, third and final pepper point. Happy birthday to John Elway, also known up here in Northeast Ohio as Old Horseface. All right. He was born on this day in 1960, and he's 63 years old. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, the 87 MVP, the 92 Man of the Year, and as an executive, he's an Arena Bowl champion and a Super Bowl champion when he won the Super Bowl 50. But yeah, so that's happy birthday to John Elway. Also, the latest in the
horse face.
Yeah, they call him Horseface up here. Also, real quick, my secondary pepper point. In the latest news with Zion Williamson and the adult film star Mariah Mills, this heifer gets his name tattooed on. He gets his name tattooed on her face. Crazy, deranged. Over to you, Scotty D.
Oh my gosh! Hey, next week is Independence Day. I want to wish everyone a happy July 4th. And I would also like to wish everyone a happy Bobby Bonilla Day, because Bobby Bonilla Day is coming up on July 1st. And each year, Bobby Bonilla had a settlement for $1.2 million he negotiated with the Mets starting on 2011. This brother's going to get that check all the way up to 2035. $1.2 million every year on July 1st for Bobby Bonilla. So happy Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody. Be live.
Oh man, speaking of people getting paid well after their time, Cincinnati Reds are still paying Ken Griffey Jr. He is the third highest paid player on their payroll.
The hell.
Ken Griffey Jr., third highest paid player, current Cincinnati Reds payroll. My third and final pepper point. Happy 4th to everybody, but that's not how I do things, because you know I like to incorporate what happened. And just another stat that's been floating around. You know how, especially the 90s, steroid era, everything's been focused on home runs, et cetera, et cetera. There is someone has been tracking every team's most recent 40-plus home run hitter, hit 40 or more home runs in a season.
Oh, boy.
And out of the 30 teams that are in Major League Baseball, 29 of them has had a home run, had a hitter hit 40 or more home runs.
I know who one of them is not. I know who has not had one.
And Scotty D is wearing the polo of the team that has not had a 40 home run hitter. You have to go all the way back to 1973 with Willie Stargell. The Pittsburgh Pirates have not had a 40 home run hitter since 1973.
Damn near 50 years. That's 50 years.
Scotty D, Pittsburgh Pirates.
So Brian Giles, when he was all juiced up on steroids, he didn't get to 40, huh? He was our last hope on steroids.
What happened?
But Barry Bonds played for us.
He did.
Yeah.
And
he hit 73 home runs. 2 facts.
Like I probably should have checked it. I don't even care, but come on, it's 1973.
Oh my God.
Oh, it could be true, could not be true, but
that was before we were family. We weren't even family yet.
Yeah.
I'd say 2 of us weren't born. Just saying.
I don't remember that much about that season. It's a little foggy to me. That 73 season.
Yeah, it'll be foggy.
Weren't you born in 73?
72.
72? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Scotty D, Pittsburgh Pirates. Willie Stargell.
Captain Willie.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another edition of this here Sports Bros podcast. If you made it through this whole journey, you may be entitled to compensation.
39 for Brian Giles. 39. 99 for Brian Giles.
Wow, he was one short. Oh, man. Poor salt the wound. Oh, man.
He couldn't even do it with steroids.
Trying to prove me wrong. I didn't know. I just saw it. I probably should fact check some things, but it is what it is. Yeah. That's hilarious to me.
And then closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can do something nice for someone else, they'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. Be a blessing
face right now.
And not a burden. This is a Sports Bros podcast. Also, some sad news to pass along, fellas. I just found out via Twitter. The former Arkansas quarterback, Ryan Mallett, has passed away.
He was young.
Yeah, and he is not clear on whether he passed away from, but prayers go out to the Mallett family. But other than that, enjoy your 4th of July. Stay safe. Keep them firecrackers out your hands and on the ground. All
See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Enjoy your break. Be live. Take us home.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord, we getting canceled for real. Bye. See y'all in 2 weeks on the Sports Bros podcast. Hey, it's Eddie Cool here from the Sports Bros podcast. Thank you for listening, and as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the Sports Bros podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.